Hey guys, welcome to Beer Time. Kyle here. It's the Big 100. We have a guest today. Frankie, it's nice to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me. This is something, I've never done this before, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, that's great. I do this every morning,
I know.
and so we're going to have fun doing some day drinking today.
Very good. Let's go.
We've got a couple of great beers to try today. These are both Imperial Stout, so they've got a little bit more. What kind of beers do you like?
I like dark beer. The thicker and the heavier they are is what I like.
You like that?
Yes.
What was your first time that you tried that?
Probably when we were in England and in Germany.
Yes.
I found it there. And then we were in Venezuela one time, and they had the best dark beer.
That sounds amazing. I've never had any beer from Venezuela. We just get oil from there,
really,
basically.
Really good. Yes.
So what we're going to have here, I've got this Samuel Smith's Imperial Stout here. Beautiful packaging. We like that gold foil on there. It looks really classy. We're going to open it up here, and it's running at 7%. So most Imperial Stouts, you know, they're a little higher than that, higher gravity we'd call that. But you know what? I think it's going to be enough for us today.
Okay. Now that's 7%.
Yes.
Would that be considered a light?
It's somewhere in the middle. So higher gravity beer is running somewhere between 8, 9, and 10%. The can of domestic that you get is running about 5. So it's somewhere in the middle. Okay? So let's give this a try.
All right.
A good friend of mine, John DeMuth, told me I need to try this, and we're going to give this. Look how rich that is. My Lord. All right. That should be good. You see how it's sticking to the side, kind of?
Yes.
That should be.
Does that mean it has a little
sugar in it?
Sugar in it?
Yeah.
Okay, what about these bubbles? They're different sizes. Does that...
It can. So what I found, especially when I'm drinking different types of beer, particularly IPAs, some better quality ones actually have different sizes of bubbles, some very small and some larger ones, and the more alcohol it has in it, those larger bubbles, they'll actually get kind of an oily sheen on them, and it's kind of an interesting take, but I think it speaks to the complexity of the beer, the ingredients in it. Hey, let's smell this. Wow. There's like some chocolate notes in there, booze.
That chocolate.
You smell that?
Smelling, yes.
And I think that there's a little bit of like maybe raisin in there or something too. Maybe not, but there's something, this kind of sweet, kind of raisin liqueur kind of thing going on. To my nose. What do you smell? Just chocolate?
At the moment, that's all I can smell.
Well, I'll tell you what,
So
why don't we drink
I'm not
it?
a connoisseur, so...
You fooled me. You fooled me, girl. Hey, let's do this. Let's drink it, and then we'll talk about it. That's pretty tasty. Do you like that?
Oh, I sure do.
You know what?
I really do.
What are we drinking coffee for in the morning? Right? Like, why aren't we just having this for breakfast?
That is a good idea.
I know. And we kind of are, right?
Yes.
We kind of are.
Yes,
Truth be told, it's only 9:30, so...
I didn't have enough coffee this morning, so...
You're getting it now, aren't you?
Yes.
So, there's some kind of bittersweet chocolate in there. Almost like and it smells kind of like semi-sweet chocolate or something like that. It's tasty. I like it. You know, I've also, we're going to try this too, this 1050, which is kind of a, you know, a very plain kind of can, but very kind of dark looking. And they're both got kind of a white and black motif on them. But this is like really classy, and this looks like kind of Harley Davidson or something, right? Like it's kind of like rough and ready. What do you think?
Well, I suppose so.
Yeah, but you know, here's
I'm not familiar with Harley Davidson.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just, I try to find words to kind of...
I understand.
Right? But I find what's interesting about it is the packaging can influence so much about how you understand. We do that with products, the way clothes look, the way, you know, the cars we drive and all that, kind of experience-wise. This is a pretty classy bottle right here, and I like it.
I like the gold and and white.
I agree. I agree. I think the white on there really sets it off, and it's some of the nicer looking package. And then on the back, it tells the kind of Samuel Smith story. I got to tell you, the story's pretty good. It's a pretty good beer.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think this is good. I'm glad I got a 4-pack of this.
But tell me, where do you find these different beers?
Well, I get that question a lot, and you know, luckily we live in an age where stores, either liquor stores or beer stores, are just stocking a ton of product. These 2 beers are high gravity. Here in Tennessee, we need to go to the liquor store to get those. So I try to find a better quality liquor store, and it can be catch as catch can. Sometimes they're what I call like a mausoleum for beers, or a museum where you go in there and there's dust on the beer.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's not. That's not always what. That's not what you're looking for with beer. So I try to go to a larger, more reputable place, and in this case, I go to Johnson City and you know go over there.
Okay.
But I do buy a lot in town. But for these, I had to get out of our zip code.
Okay.
That's all right. Nothing's too good for you, girl. Right.
I was going to ask you a question, and I can't remember, but I will.
That's all right. Think on it.
Okay.
We'll take a sip here, and we'll just think on it a little bit. This is really good.
It is.
Right.
It isn't nearly as
heavy
as I thought it would be.
I thought it would be a little heavier too, but I think what you'll find is that has to do a lot with the volume of alcohol in it.
Okay.
I think this one right here is gonna. It says cross-eyed and some other words I can't pronounce, which I like, but it's a half-baked, fully roasted ale.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, their cans are kind of silly, right? But yeah, it's fun. You know, that's what's fun about it, is finding a new adventure every time. For me, anyway.
Do the different beers have a shelf life?
Yeah, they do. Particular ones that, the more hops that they have in them, hopped beers, that hop, the oil, the essence of those things tends to degrade over time. And in fact, it degrades relatively quickly. Something that's got a higher alcohol content will stay around longer, but it doesn't guarantee the beer will stay in its same form. It may change a little bit on the inside. So in this particular case, these kinds of beers, let's say this Imperial Stout, anything above, say, 8.5% is going to cellar like a wine. Over time will probably do that. If it has a ton of hops in it, those hops will degrade over time. Okay. But the malts, the alcohol in there, something like this would continue to develop, let's say. And, you know, you could keep it for several years. It would probably be fine. This, I think with the glass bottle being what it is, I think being in the smaller format, in the smaller bottle, it's 7%. I think you just want to drink that within, you know, I mean, you could certainly keep it around in your fridge for 6 months, but you might want to drink it. Most people say stick to 3, but you know, I got to tell you, with this, I'm not going to keep it around too much.
But it's too good.
It's too good. That's exactly right. You've totally got it. By the way, we're going to start on this next beer right now. You don't have to feel like you're going to finish this afterwards.
Okay.
But, you know, we can just move it aside.
Okay.
I'm going to finish mine because...
Well, you didn't pour as much into your glasses.
That's true. I may have gave you a little bit too much there, but, you know. So this is wow, look at that.
Oh, now
that is rich.
That appears to be darker than this, or...
Your eyes are working perfectly. It is much darker, and look at the color.
I see the color of the...
Right. Look at the color of that foam. It's like caramel, burnt caramel almost.
It is. Yes.
So the higher the alcohol, sometimes in these kinds of beers, you'll notice it even has a little bit less bubbles in them. Sometimes there's literally nothing. It's like the consistency of motor oil.
It has a different smell than the other.
It does. It's sweeter, maybe, and less chocolatey. Let's drink it. Mm.
It is heavier.
It is much heavier. It's got think like a cold boozy hot chocolate or something, but coffee, right? Or, what do you think about it?
You know, when you mentioned caramel, I wouldn't have thought of that, but it did smell like it, and I think it might be.
You think it has a little bit of that in it?
Mixture?
Right. Well, and you know what you're getting, the caramel, excuse me, those caramel notes sometimes will come from the malts, the malted barley that's in here. The way it's roasted changes its makeup. And
that did say it was roasted.
Yes, it did. And this one,
fully roasted.
Yes, that's exactly right. This is definitely roasted. Hey, this is pretty good. It's like this is kind of like dessert. You could have this in place of a dessert if you had to. I mean, we probably should still have some cake with it or something, right? But
well, I don't know. I'd rather drink the beer.
I like this girl. I like this girl a lot. She's classy. Girl, take you everywhere.
Okay, what foods would you eat?
So here's the thing. I think you should limit yourself to you can't drink a ton of this stuff, you know, because you're going to be falling all over yourself. Because it's a lot. Some of these come in larger bottles. And honestly, if I drank a larger format of this is like drinking 2 cans of Budweiser. But I can promise you it will get you tighter than that real quick. But anyway, I mean, the thing about it is I would personally do like aged cheeses with this. Like aged cheddar or aged Gouda would be awesome with this. Kind of a first course or something. And I also think it might be appropriate, again, for dessert. Like trade in, like, say, your wine for something like this. And then go, you know, have something like berries or, you know, chocolate and berries or something like that. I think would fly with this. And I would have a cigar with this is what I would do.
I'd have a cigar.
That would be awesome. Can you imagine you and me just sitting here just puffing away? That would be amazing.
Do you think this has a more zinged aftertaste than this?
Yeah, I think the Samuel Smith is a smoother product. I think this it's like the 4x4 ruggedized version of what we just had. It's not as smooth. In some ways, it's not as elegant of a beer. It's more aggressive. But in that, there might be some complexity in here, again, to have this with, you know, that meat and cheese tray or something, or dessert that it may deliver. And as this warms up, too, I have to tell you, it will even, beer, particularly this kind of stuff, as it warms up, is a really good thing, because those boozy notes kind of might come out of there and, you know, tempt our taste buds a little bit.
Oh, there's still a tingle from it.
Yeah. This has more, obviously, it has more ingredients in it, and I can just feel these coffee and dark chocolate. You know, like the stuff that you get that you can't hardly eat. It has almost, it's all chocolate.
It's a little bitter.
Right. And in that, I think that this is pretty good. The bitterness makes you want another drink.
I don't feel like it's bitter as much as it's a tingling. But it's not bitter to me.
Is it just, it dances around on your tongue, right? It's a little different than that, isn't it? Where this is kind of got a milky kind of finish, much smoother. I got to tell you, we should do this more often.
I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Hey, look, guys, thanks for coming out, trying some beers with us. Get out and try these Imperial Stouts. We're going to do some day drinking today, right? We're going to finish this up and have a great day. And what I'd like you guys to do is get out, try some of these Imperial Stouts, have a good one. And you know what? This is our 100th episode. I'm super proud of that, super happy for that. Thanks, Kelly Barnett, for all the work that you do, getting our web stuff up, putting this stuff together. We appreciate you. And wish you were here, pal. And one more thing. If you like us and you watch us on YouTube, subscribe, like us, and let's keep doing this thing. We're having fun doing this. Thanks for coming on board, Frankie.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
This has been a ton of fun, and we're just going to do this again real soon. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good day.